Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty who's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP, oh yeah,
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. If you dance as a breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'm gonna go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look. I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace up with presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige Hour day, welcome. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Good? Everyone's good? Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome back. Hey D-Love, good to see you. Welcome. Hit that like button on your way in. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hey, the lady Nevar, good to see you. Welcome. Salute to you. Salute. Hit that like button as you're coming in. We're just going to dive right in. Welcome. All right. We have a few things to cover today. Some quick house rules. Like, share, and subscribe as you're coming in. Like we said already, right? We can't say that enough, right? On this platform, this is Matter of Prestige. My name is Ola. Come to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. On this platform, we talk about relationships, power, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence, patience, love. And then, if we have time, we'll talk about marriage. I am a 4-time author. If you want access to my books, including Get My Marriage Back, you can download it for free at loveandprestige.com. Okay. And also, you can book a coaching session if you want more of a personalized, customized solution for your relationships as well as business. I might be struggle streaming a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Something bad is going on. If you can hear me loud and clear, please do let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. I might just go, if it's too blurry, I don't want you to be distracted by the blurriness. I might as well just go faceless today. Hit that like button. Well, I'm only seeing 3 likes. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Thank you. That's one of the issues. Let's hit that like button. Thank you. Can we turn up on the like button? Thank you. Let's get them likes up to 8 at least. 8 at least. And then I can continue. I'm watching. Let's get the likes button up to 9 before we can continue. Thank you so much. That's the least we can do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're trying to wake up the algorithms again. It is what it is. But we're happy to be here. This is something that we love to do. So I'm very, very happy to be here. I don't care. All 2 of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Shout out to Bomi Amara. Shout out to Life with Natu. Shout out to T-Love. Welcome. Hit that like button on your way in. Thank you. And loud and clear. Okay. It sound like we're looking good. All right. And the picture, I'm probably pausing in and out, but as long as the audio is good, we should be good to go. All right. And if you're not yet a member of the Prestige family, this is the most guaranteed way to make sure you get notified when I go live. That way, we're not affected by the ratios of who click likes, or you'll get notified all the time as long as you join lolaanola.com/WhatsApp. Okay. And if that link doesn't work, you can use this phone number using WhatsApp text only. All right. Today we have an interesting topic to cover. KEREWA Matters continue. Kind of. I already said we're not going to talk much about this until on the Valentine's Day when my wife is here. But then somebody decided to grace us with their presence on the internet today, and that's a gentleman by the name none other than DEYEMI Okanlawon, who is also it's a very good actor. It's a guy who cares. That's the guy you're looking at on the screen right now. Okay, it's a guy who cares about his craft. He puts in a lot of work, and I've also been privileged to have a conversation with him in the past with regards to this kind of topics: marriage, relationships, love matters. He knows what he's talking about. Probably more so because he's open. It's a very open guy. I'll keep this on the screen while we talk about the other stuff, But I have a video that I want us to react to. Quite a few clips actually that I want us to react to today. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen so we can just jump right into the maras. Let's see. All right, so he was featured on Token Makinwa's show, Token Moments, today, I guess, maybe yesterday, I'm not sure. And he had a few things to share, okay? And I thought, why don't we talk about it, right? Since that's the popping topic right now, right? Let's talk about it. It's not particularly about KEREWA, but that's the part of it that went viral. But as usual, I don't want to just bring you viral moments. I want us to get some context to who is talking. Who is the person that's talking? What is their typical rhetorics? What angle do they normally go? Right? It's very, very, very important. It looks like we have a little bit of better connection, right? So I'll be paying attention to that. Let me just go ahead and share something here with you. There's a couple of clips that I want us to go through, okay? And also we'll talk about I'm coming over to the chat because I need to come over and shout out my people. I need to come over there and shout you all out because I appreciate you. If you take your time to be here, I appreciate you. Okay, so I always want to make sure I acknowledge you while you're here. All right, awesome. Let's see. Chinye is here. Welcome, Chinye. Welcome. Chinye said na fudo. Ben Thierry. I did here. It's Friday. Chill, Friday, right? So let's make the most out of Friday. Let's make the most out of it. So let me go to the first clip and then we'll take the conversation from there, And the first question, okay, he went viral because they tried to twist his words. But basically what he's saying is that 4 times a week is not enough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, 4 times KEREWA per week, is that enough for you? Let's do a quick poll. Your own opinion. Is that enough or it's not enough? I don't want to hear it depends. It depends on what. For you, is that enough? Okay. For you, is that enough or is that too much? No, I don't. If you say it depends, we kind of know that already. But for you, let's take a quick poll, right? Is that enough or is that Asheju? Right? Let's talk about it, right? Let's see. Yep. Let's talk about it. Welcome. As you're coming in, hit that like button. All right. Is that enough? Let's see. D-Lo say, come on, that's enough. Come on. He said 4 times is more than enough. Okay. Gentlemen, if you want to chime in, I know you're listening behind the scenes. you want to chime in, I want to know what you think is too much. But we have me and we have DEYEMI who will help us out here in a second. Chinye reduced it. Huh. She reduced it. Why? Why did you reduce it from 4? That one time, you know how much of a big deal that one time is? We don't want it to start getting boring. Right? It's gotta be spiced up. I'm a sucker for romance. Romance and KEREWA are two different things, Sha. I think men just want the KEREWA. A typical man just want the KEREWA. It's kind of sad, but it's true for a lot of people. Let's just say that, right? I want the romance too, personally. But excuse me. Yeah. So 4 times, 3 times. Now, let's see what DEYEMI has to say. Let's just go ahead and see what DEYEMI has to say about this, because it's in a struggle for a lot of people. Like I said, 15 to 20% of marriages are in KEREWA less, sex less marriage, right? So let's talk about it today.
Sometimes I'm just like, dude, like I want to work on another part of my life. I don't want to work on a relationship right now. Do you know what I mean? And I can only hope that how we feel for each other will carry us through this phase. Because there are times that you are up for working. It's like, babe, let's communicate. Babe, let's go to the cinema. Babe, let's have sex 4 times a week. Babe, let's do this. And there are times like, fuck that. I don't want to work. I want to work on
4 times a week is work?
All right. That's it right there. See, when she was saying that, unfortunately, I wasn't showing my screen, right? let me just go ahead and show my screen again. I'll take it back. Let's take it backwards a little bit.
Sometimes I'm just like, dude, like I want to work on another part of my life. I don't want to work on a relationship right now. Do you know what I mean? And I can only hope that how we feel for each other will carry us through this phase. Because there are times that you are up for working. It's like, babe, let's communicate. Babe, let's go to the cinema. Babe, let's have sex 4 times a week. Babe, let's do this. And there are times like, fuck that. I don't want to work. I want to work on
4 times a week is work?
4 times a week is too much.
Oh, wow.
She said it's too much. She said it's too much. She said it's too much. She says you can get that one time, Sha. No, wait. She said, when I say romance, I'm referring to what builds up to the KEREWA, such as the foreplay. Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. We're missing 7 likes. I can shut down the show and go have a good time for the rest of the weekend if I don't get my 7 likes right now. We're missing 7 likes. Please hit the like button. Take a minute. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. We're missing. Thank you. We're missing 6 likes right now. Thank you. Emma saw me dialogue like so. Any people on help now? We're missing 5 now. Hit that like button. Thank you. Yes, let's do that. Thank you. It's a very small platform, but please help. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. I appreciate you. Let's have the conversation though, right? I'm referring to what builds up the KEREWA, such as the foreplay. To me, I love that personally, you know. But when I have conversation with some of these men, modern men, it almost seems like there's a lot of work for them. For me, it's good sports as far as I'm concerned. It makes it even that much more fun. Even as far back as the whole day, like the foreplay, the whole day, right? But it's not easy either, you know, because people are busy. Man's got to work. Man's got to make sure the bills are paid, right? But I think it's, you know, the way I take it is good sports. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Let's see. You can get that one time, Sha. You have to be creative, but it can't be 4 times every single week. Ha! Hey, All these caveats. Anyway, let's see. She's making it sound like all these fun things are work. She did, right? Right. Hey Modele, good to see you. Hell yeah, I would want to go out and do things including yummy kerewa. Right? What about kerewa in the car with your spouse, with your husband, with your wife, in the car, in the back seat? I know some of you all did this when you were dating and all this kind of stuff. But are you open to doing that as a married person? In the park, in the parking lot. Abi is too much. You don't want to get arrested, eh? Please don't be stingy with the likes. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that hit that like button so far. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think this video might have been shadow banned because of the emoji. That's fine. The people that it belongs to will find it. Exactly what I was thinking. 4 times is enough, especially when you have kids and work.
Oh, beauty.
Life with Natus, exactly. No be stupid that you're collecting free show when I know one like you two. Me, I was wondering like what's Kilo Shell?
What you be that?
Hey Joe now. I should call for deliverance. You remember you said that like 2 days ago, not to. Shout out to you. See how you hit that like button and they have now helped us to invite a few more people. Help the algorithms now. Thank you. Shout out to all the 20 people coming in. Now we're missing some likes. We're missing 6. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Don't make me use the beginning of the shows be begging for like. I'll take 1 hour to beg for likes and then we can start the show if that's what I want. You know? Anyway, let's go back to that video a little bit. Let me see what she said again. Because this auntie here.
And I can only hope that how we feel for each other will carry us through this phase. Because there are times that you are up for working. It's like, babe, let's communicate. Babe, let's go to the cinema. Babe, let's have sex 4 times a week. Babe, let's do this. And there are times like, fuck that. I don't want to work. I want to work on
4 times a week is work?
She literally called it work. Huh? She called it work.
Hey! I hear me to me, but me.
Is it only me that's finding this kind of crazy? Man must work. Well, yes. So welcome, Modele. Yeah, thank you for hitting the likes button. Thank you. I ain't going to jail because of Kerewa. D-Love. As a grown person, you've never slept in jail before. If you are going to sleep in jail for any reason, it should be because of Kerewa with your husband. They will understand. They will release you by the second morning. You can call a friend. They will come and get you out. But you will know that. What's the difference between that and skydiving? Right? What's the difference between that and skydiving? Is this sounding too crazy for now? Eh? Is this sounding too crazy for now? Yes. In the back seat as a married woman with 2 children. Right? That's too much. Bumi said, Uncle Ola, worry this. That's something I'm asking now. I believe several factors affect different couples. Go, man. Shout out to Go, man. But the beginning of relationship has more kerewas after 10 years together. Okay. All right. Hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Navor. All fun stuff. She must be boring. Right? All of this stuff, like even no, what comments did I skip? Let me see. What comment did I skip? Maybe no, there's no comment. I want all the comments. What did I skip? What did he say? Oh, wait. Work care. It makes it fun and builds the anticipation, right? It's a good spot. I said that, but I feel like you're saying something else. Let me see. No, I must have missed it. I didn't skip it. Oh, I read it. Okay. All right, good. All right, so somebody said no sound. Lady Navor, no sound. Can you guys hear me clearly? Oh, she says I'm good. Okay, good. I'm good. All right. Let me continue.
4 times a week is too much.
Oh wow.
You don't think so?
Okay.
Please, like I beg. I was not one of those. I mean, really, how many times do you guys have sex a week? 6 times a week?
Well, as long as you have
What is going on in your home?
you have daylight, you have
You
nighttime.
guys are like rabbits. What? 4 times a week is a lot. Be lucky if you even find sex once a week.
No,
How old is Tokemakiwa? Like 35, 40? Is that why she's sounding this way? Is that too young or too old?
come on. Don't even say that.
Why?
That's
I'm
not
being
true. That can't be
honest.
true.
What do you mean?
My dear, wake up, oh.
I feed the man every day.
Every day.
What do you mean?
Morning, afternoon. How many times did you feed?
Morning, afternoon,
As
night.
much as you
DEYEMI.
eat.
That's your rabbit. What does that mean? Okay,
3
let
times
me-
a day,
let me-
three course
4 times
meals.
a week is fair.
Look, there's no timetable for this thing. There might be times you go weeks.
Don't you
without
think that place needs to rest?
that? No.
No. Right. Like, no, doesn't need to rest. Rest to be tibawo. Why? What does that even mean? Do you rest from eating? Do you rest from pooping? Right. See, that place need to rest is an excuse, you know. It's an excuse. I would take another type of excuse, not that one, right? Not that one. Do people get sore? Ladies, is that a thing? Is that a thing? Look at her face.
Look, there's no timetable for this thing. There might be times you go weeks.
Don't you
without
think that place needs to rest?
that? No. That was what it was made for.
I don't want to be married.
It's like my mouth need to rest. I don't want to put food in it today. I mean, my analogy is off, ni. Is my analogy off? Am I being? What's going on here? Am I being off here? Eh? What's going on here? Do you rest from putting food in your mouth? If you're sick, you won't want to eat. If the appetite is terrible because you have fever, I understand. But that place needs to rest.
That is God.
What are you talking about? Yeah? What are you talking about? Welcome, Gorex. With a rest. I was told older women over 40 like it often, but I wonder how they came up with these statistics. I've noticed that most women above 40, I think it has to do with the fact that they know themselves and they are more open, they're more sexually expressive more than younger women. Depends on what society too, right? But yes, that's a very common saying, and most people over 40 have admitted to that. All right. I'll be in the background. I just got home. Welcome, Jerry, my sister. Yes, now you need to rest. Wait. No, not a thing. Don't know what Toke is talking about. Let's see. But wait, D-Love, they are disagreeing with you. Bumi says yes, so it gets sore depending on the type of action. Okay, all right. DEYEMI no dey let his wife rest. Okay, is my analogy off? Do you rest from food unless you are sick? Unless you don't have appetite for it. If you don't want to do you don't want to do it needs to rest. Which one is that one? Am I off? Educate me, ladies. Educate the gentlemen are listening. Educate them. Well, if she puts it like that, no for women and yes for men. You need to rest. Hey, welcome, pretty lady. Pretty lady says, ladies, come on, 4 times a day is less. You mean a day or week? Because now I'm looking at you sideways. My father used to tell us that you must kerewa with your husband in such a way that he can't recognize another woman. That's what your father said, huh? Interesting. Let's keep going.
No, listen,
when next
listen.
I see you at an event, I'll be like,
No, hold
sis.
on.
I get it.
First of all, that's what it was made for.
All this animation sounds like she does it 5 times a day. But let's see here. Oga, wahala.
You don't stop breathing because you're trying to rest your
Listen, sometimes you
nose,
get
or
sore.
you don't
Like,
stop eating because
no,
you're
when
trying.
you say morning, afternoon,
Let's
you
rest.
don't get sore. Like, why am I going to? You want me to be walking for?
And
Like,
that's if
hello.
that's
Walking
if-
funny.
Yeah.
What kind of kerewa are you doing that you're walking for? Okay, I understand it can get a little aggressive. If you had too much of a good time, I get it. Okay, I get it. But
So again, there's no set rules, right? You work with what you have, but the default is that you.
do married women or married couples, do they have, how often do you think they have such kerewa where people are walking funny? See, I understand young people, I understand people that have no jobs the second morning, I understand people that don't have kids, they don't have, let's really assess this thing, right? How often are married couples, he's been married for 10 years plus, how often are they doing kerewa to the point that they can't walk? How often is that happening?
You should be having sex every time.
So you think sex?
And
is like
then
one of the
if
most
there
important
there is
things?
also, you're busy, you're working, you're traveling, you're tired, or you're
Do you
stressed
believe
out.
like in sexting or like phone sex,
Oh,
like video sex?
Yeah,
Do you think it's healthy for relationships? What I'm saying?
I think so, definitely.
So you
yeah.
like, but I think you're like more of an action guy.
Stop
That
the
doesn't
cap.
work
And
for-
because it doesn't get me there, so yeah. But
so she asked a question about video bulala, right? Sexting using the phone, filming, and if you're away, because he's an actor, so he has to be away on the set all the time. So I played the stop the cap for him. It's not having sex 4 times a week. It's just not feasible. Let's be honest, okay? It's not feasible, all right? But he's also right that if it's a healthy relationship, there'll be time you do back to back to back to back. There'll be time that you might go a whole week to even almost up to 2 weeks and nothing. Life is happening, things are happening, right? So when people are trying, it's just like every other aspect of relationship. People are looking for answers to every question. Let's put a number to it, and this is why people fail, right? So 4 times a week, it's possible, like some weeks here and there, but on a consistent basis, it's not realistic. It's not feasible for most people, not especially for a person that travel from time to time, right? So but she asked a question just now about that video thing. For me, either it's like
like phone sex when you guys are apart, like video sex.
nah. Right? Some people may enjoy it. For me, it's nah. First of all, on that thing is not encrypted end to end. Nothing. Okay, stuff can leak to the internet by mistake and stuff like that. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Welcome. Hit that like button. I appreciate you. We got 19 likes. We can get it up to 30. Thank you so much. Right? So yeah, it's not realistic. Person wey go look another woman go look, make we no lie. Well, if they're, let's be honest, it's true. That statement is true, right, by itself. Like, as a matter of fact,
you're right.
but it takes a certain amount of energy. I mean, you only have a certain amount of energy. You only have so much energy, right? Let's just be honest. If you're having like this 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, there's a good chance that you're not having extra stuff outside. Just a chance. Is it possible? Yes. But let's just think about it deeply. It's almost impossible, right? But the other part that's almost impossible too is that every week, this person, both of you couple are doing it every week, 4 times a week. Some people claim that they do it, right? But again, somebody said that earlier. Once children are in the situation, there's work, there's goals, people are striving for, yeah, there are weeks that happens, okay? But to like keep that up, it's like, who is counting? How many times are you counting? Why are you counting? The only reason why people tend to count, like we discovered yesterday, is because they're not getting it. The people that are not getting some will count faster than the people that are getting some. Think about that, okay? The people that are not getting any tend to count more than the people that are getting some. All right. So I just take it anytime somebody give you a number, just take it with a pinch of salt. There is a certain number that's healthy. When you're not getting or you're getting almost none. 2-3 weeks is going on a regular, consistent basis. We also know that increases the chances that people will start looking outside, because if their need is not being met, man or woman, it's wallow. A serious trouble be that. All right. Shout out to Cool Mama. I see Cool Mama. Welcome. Good to see you. What did I say? I wish I could keep an eye on the comment at the same time, right? I don't know what I said. That you said that's it, right? And I gadgets, so no video, please. Yeah, video. Be careful with the video stuff, especially if you're a man like that have a lot to lose, like DEYEMI. There's no need for that. I personally don't see the point in that. I want the real thing. You know, if people are on long distance marriage for a long period of time, I can understand that they have to kind of like find a way to spice things up. Okay, I can understand that. Let's say somebody Japa to Yankee from Nigeria, and they might not see each other for 2 years because he has to settle, he has to figure out work and things like that. I can understand that, you know, and they can figure that out. Let's check benefits that come with KEREWA. Vitamins, reduce stress, and increase glow. Good point, right? If the appetite is there, right? There are also some KEREWA that you do as a shore that's, you know, that stresses you. Every time can we do something, it's like you're stressed out. What about that part, right? There's a lot of parts to it. We'll talk about that on Valentine's Day. We're going to be getting into some of that on Valentine's Day when my wife is here. And also we'll keep talking about this kind of stuff anyway, right? But let's see. I have a question. Okay. I have a big question for you. And there's an article I want us to review together when I come right back.
The Truly's wearing off.
Oh, my favorite shirt is ruined.
All right, so let me play this short clip and then we'll talk about it.
Thought I was going to get married, and getting in, divorce was an option, and I stated it very.
All right, so let's talk about this. Here's the question that I have for you. Should divorce ever be an option for married couples? Let's participate. Let me get your answers in the chat. Should divorce ever be an option for married couples? There's no right and wrong answer. I just want to know how you feel. Should divorce ever be an option for married couples? What are your thoughts around that? It's okay to say it depends. It's okay to say here's why. Yes, no, here's why. That's fine. I would love to hear your take on this. Should divorce ever be an option for married couple is the question.
Very clear my life. As I said, I never thought I was going to get married.
So he never thought he was going to get married.
And getting in, divorce was an option.
Getting in, divorce was an option. Okay. For me personally, it was too. It's not like we're walking around and bragging. It's gonna be. It's like, hey, if it's wrong, I'm okay with acknowledging that it is, and it's okay for people to go their separate ways. Right? That was me personally. I want to know your thoughts about that. Come into the chat right now. What are your thoughts around this? Should divorce for married couple ever be an option? If your consideration for this is driven by religion, let me know as well. I want to know. Let's see. Isabel, welcome. How far? How you day? How you day? Modele says yes, it should be an option, right? D Love says absolutely. Oh God. Precious, welcome, Precious. Precious says yes. Oh God. Hey.
Funky.
Gorak says yes, it should be on the table or side. Hey. Ayemi.
Hey! Ayemi tèmi bá mi.
Let's see. T Love says yes, in case of an emergency, there's always emergency exit. Obìnrin. Hey.
Obìnrin.
Let's see. Pretty Lady has one point of contention here. If marriage is KEREWA less, you know I'm on the same page with you on that one. Listen, 3 months is the line, okay? After 3 months, if it's KEREWA less, if there's no sex, as far as I'm concerned, the marriage doesn't exist unless it's medical in nature, okay? When you say divorce is not an option, do work, be intentional, but don't say divorce is not an option and you are just there. Okay? All right? Gomez say based on what? That's the question, right? It should be an option. Is there some scenario for you where I'm okay with it? Like you're just okay with it, right? Whatever that means to you, should it ever be an option? Indy Tony says it depends the situation of the marriage. Instead of both people to buy each other, divorce is the best option. 100%. I can't argue with that. I don't know why anybody would want to argue. On adultery, I'll also want to say abuse too, because that could be life-threatening. All right. So how many of you are fans of Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Kingsley and Mildred Okonkwo? How many of you are fans of this fantastic couple out there that's helping couples make the best out of their marriage? How many of you?
And I stated it very clearly because I felt if you don't understand that.
He said he stated it very clearly. I stated it very clearly too. Let me ask you a question. Is there a downside? Just think about it. Can you think of a downside to stating this very clearly earlier on in a marriage? Could you think of a downside, especially in this scenario? Watch, listen.
Divorce is a possibility. If you bury your head in the sand and you don't understand divorce is a possibility, then you wouldn't do what it takes or what's required to avoid it.
That's the upside. I agree with that. Okay? That's one of the upside to say, hey, divorce is an option, right? You know it's an option. So if divorce is clearly not what people go into marriage to do, so if you know it's an option, I would hope that you're doing everything in your power to avoid it, right? Is that same thing for everyone? Let's think about it deeply, right? Is that true for everyone, right? For me and for DEYEMI, when I say divorce is an option, I'm thinking like, yeah, like if that's what it comes out to. But of course, I'm aware that this is an option. It's possible. That's not what I want. I'm going to work at it. Are there people out there that when they say divorce is an option, what it means to them is that they're not willing to work on nothing. They have low tolerance and they're willing to run for the hills at any sight of anything they consider. What was the excuse we just gave just now? Not excuse, but good reasons, right? Abuse, adultery, or a situation where you feel like your life is at stake, right? Things to think about. Let's think about these things, right? Let's see.
From happening. My wife you wouldn't do what it takes or what's required to avoid it from happening. My wife said, "We die here."
The wife said, "We die here." Okay, funny enough, my wife didn't state it exactly like that, right? But she was that person. The last thing she was thinking about is divorce when we're getting married, right? So if that's the last thing she was thinking about, and I was clearly stating it that this is an option. Normally, when do I normally state this? I'm not stating this when everything is rosy and bubbly. No. Guess when I'm usually stating it? If we have small argument. Okay? We have small argument. After we argue, if I feel like the argument in my throat like this, not every time, I think 1 or twice I said that, right? But is there a downside to that? We're having an argument, right? I got frustrated with the argument, and somehow it flew out of my mouth that, hey, if it's not working, this is always an option for me. However way I said it, I don't remember exactly, but it was stated. Let me see what your thoughts are at this point. Is there a downside to that? That's the question. Is there a downside to explicitly stating like is an option? Because again, we repeat a lot of talking points every chance we get, but we're not exactly paying attention to how it can. We're not paying attention to the downside. Everything in life is double-edged sword. There's disadvantages, disadvantages, right? So as much as we like to say it's always a good thing, it's not always a good thing. So let's identify what the downsides of that could be, right? I have heard about them, but don't follow them. Okay. Precious say watch somebody Okonkos, right? Yes. Bumi says we die here. That's how the wife felt. And I have a feeling like a lot of women, when they are going into marriage with somebody they're in love with, that's the last thing on their mind, right? What could be the downside to moving around and say it's an option, it's an option, it's an option? Could that expose you to low tolerance level in a marriage? Right? Is that possible? Gomez says no one agrees and goes into marriage to divorce. Yes. People divorce for several reasons, and some reasons are not negotiable for a reinstatement of that marriage. Right. So now with that being said, is it 100%, 1000% safe to go into a marriage with the mindset that divorce is an option, or there could be a downside to that? D-Love said there's a disadvantage because it may come this give up spirit. Yes. That's what we're trying to shed some light on. I think ultimately, listen, it's an option for the reasons that, hey, if it's an option, that's not what I want. I'm going to work hard to make sure we never have to exercise that option. See, I think that the best position for negotiations, I hate to use the word negotiation in a marriage, right? But it's true. There's a back and forth all the time, right? It's an interaction, right? And the best position is to be willing to walk away and mean it. If you're not, if the other person can sense that you do have options you can exercise, they might just keep taking you for granted. That's just how life works. Not necessarily because they want to. It's because there's a human mind in their brain. There's a human brain on their head, and if they already know that, that you're not going anywhere, and they have bad habits like the rest of us, and they're indulging in it, they will keep indulging it. There's no real reason to change if there's a need for change, if they're being rewarded for the present state of things. So it's not as simple as any talking point as always, right? It could be as simple as actively listening. What exactly are we dealing with, right? Let's keep going. T-Love says, let's see. D-Love 3000. Shout out to D-Love 3000, our sponsor here. There's a disadvantage because, okay, we already talked about that. T-Love says that one is fight. Saying things in anger most likely bring regrets. Exactly. But again, the question I asked, like, if you are just walking around and you're kissy, lovey, and you're in the house and you're in love, right? Typically, you don't say these things. We try to listen. Our cap is just too much. That's the truth, okay? When it comes to this conversation,
Stop the cap.
the cap too much, okay? There's nobody in love. The butterflies are everywhere. You're kissy feeling each other. Oh, babe, let's have a conversation right now. That's cap. You're not. You're simply enjoying it when it's happening. When you typically want to do some of these textbook things is when someone is upset. Can we be honest about that? Okay? For the most part. I said typically. Not 100%. But for the most part. That's when you want to have tough conversations. There are issues. Something has happened. Right? So, and the problem is that you don't know what extent your partner is going to take it to. You don't know what their triggers are until it happens. Right? When they're triggered and it happens, everyone is upset. We don't know what yours is too. That's typically when these things happen. That's when somebody will talk about divorce. There's nobody explicitly stating, hey, by the way, we're going to, like, I can divorce anytime, even though you're trying to kiss all over me right now.
Maybe juju be that.
That came up because some thoughts were crossing your mind, and they're usually not positive. Okay? And the main thing that I talk about here is awareness. Okay? Understanding that this is emotionally driven relationships, this is romantic relationships. In reality, it's everything I say here is going to be easier said than done. Okay? T-Law 7, in retrospect, I don't think I'll go in with the mindset of divorce though. Yeah, because if you're going in with that, it's almost like there's fear. Right? I think fear can be a good motivator. I think it can be a completely terrible motivator, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. You attract what you fear the most in weird ways. Even if it's at least in your mind, that negative thought will occupy your mind and you will steal from yourself when it comes to the experience. You will hurt yourself, basically. All right. So it's very important. So should divorce ever be an option for married couples? Let me play this video. Let me finish playing this, then I gotta play a video. Shout out to Tokemakiwa. Shout out to Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo, because I'm reacting within fair use guidelines to their content.
Our own was we die here. Like, divorce is not an option. Guess who thinks divorce is not an option now?
You.
Me.
And she
Guess who's like, man, dude, whatever, man, I'm ready. And this is.
So that's very typical. When women have a certain type of experience, that's when they suddenly realize that, hey, it's an option. When men continue to get more invested, number one, a typical man is continuing to normalize everything that's going on, is regulating and say, this is my life, even including KEREWA less. He's normalizing it. He might go and take care of himself outside, whatever he has to do, right? He's basically just self-regulating and say, hey, it is what it is. We die. Yeah, he starts to become more and more of that. He becomes more, not content, but he's, what's the word I'm looking for? He settles into, this is reality. We're just gonna have to manage that, right? Now, women discover more, typically. Discover more of the reality. They discover more of their capabilities as far as how wild the emotions can go, right? And it often gets to a point where you're just looking for exit signs. Even though, of course, you were so in love in the beginning, that's the last thing on your mind, right? And that flip is real. And that same exact flip happened to me. 8 years into our marriage, she said this, marriage, all she said is marriage is not do or die. And I was triggered. I'm like, why would you say that? Even though it's true, right? Like, why would you say that? We were on a show, we were recording a live show like this. This was years back on our old platform that we lost, old channel that we lost, right? And I was triggered. I'm like, to me, it was like somebody threw a dagger for everything I've been building. Like it was kind of weird to me. I don't know why a person in a lifetime relationship with me will be nursing she had tons of resentments that we went with, issues that we never addressed at that time, right? Very, very important to pay attention. So this same exact flip happened to me. I'm gonna keep playing.
Every year for the first maybe 6-7 years, I promise you, we had a near divorce type scenario where she's like, I'm done, and I'm going, yeah, sure, I'm done too, you know. But we always found our way back. And I think one of the things that we were able to do was, what that worked for us was that we were always able to have a project or something that we're working towards together. So having a common vision sort of helps.
That's another thing that worked for us. All right. Having a project together. The first thing that was recommended to us was to have a project together after the crisis that we had. And that's essentially what you have today as Lola and Ola, starting with the book, Get My Marriage Back. Okay. Having a project together. Listen, our words are very, very powerful. Is the key thing here. Let me play this video for you, and then we'll take it from there. Let me play 1 second.
I love Thomas's English muffins. They really help me make the most of my morning. Do you hear them?
Divorce is not the fine.
So basically this video, go check out their videos. They're very good, by the way, especially Pastor Kingsley. Very, very good. 7 agreements. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So, and they had the 7 agreements that they had before marriage. Okay. We had this conversation yesterday. You know, I have like layers of problems with people having certain types of agreements before marriage. Particularly from a standpoint of majority of them are unrealistic, because marriage will test you. All right. Everything you agreed to will be tested. And sometimes they become unrealistic expectations. And one of the 2 major destroyers, in my opinion, okay, everything that you look at and all the stats out there is traced back to those 2 things, okay? Unrealistic expectations and pride, okay? Unrealistic expectations and pride, 3 and 4, okay? These are your 4-point focus, right? This 3 and 4 is basically what you need to play defense at all the time. It's a game. You have to play defense with these 2 things all the time. So whatever event is going on in your life between you and your spouse or your relationship partner, your romantic partner, I should say, you're always playing defense against expectations and pride. Okay, with expectations, you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. With your expectations, you manage them. With pride goes before every type of fall. Pride is 100% destructive. I'm talking about the egotistical type of pride. And no, it's not the type that you will say, me, everybody tell me that I'm a very humble person. That's not that one. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of pride where you say, the way I was raised, were raised in my family that we value marriage. We will never do such thing. It's coming from a blind spot. You don't realize it. It's the other person that will feel the heat of this when it's happening. It's not the one that everybody thinks you're prideful. No, not that one. That one is easy to detect. At least she kind of knew that, or he knew that before they married you, right? That's why, again, all of this stuff, you can have this conversation, but you must have those conversations with the expectations that you have to keep having those conversations until you buy. At least until having a healthy relationship becomes second nature to you. Okay? But let me play what Pastor Kingsley and Mildred had to say about this. So the seventh agreement they had is, let me go ahead and play it.
Now one. Can you guess?
No.
The final one and the most important one. Divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
We said that so much to each other before we got married.
Yeah.
So it won't be fair to talk about this unless we hear their context. Let's hear some context, right? Let's see why they said that.
Was one of the first things we agreed, that we will not get divorced. And there's a way, Pastor K, because when we say those things, sometimes people think, how can you say that you will not get divorced? How can you say that? Pastor K gave me an analogy many years ago that we use with our clients today. And that is that when you're in a room, there are no windows, there are no doors. And both of you are in that room and a fire starts in the room. What would your first response be? Your first response would be to try to put out the fire. But if there are windows and there are doors, first thing you try to do is run. So he said to me, we have to close every window, every door in this marriage. No way out. Okay? In this marriage.
Hey! No way out. How do y'all feel about that so far? Let me see. D says, shout out to D. Shout out to you, D. I always see your comments, by the way. Finding the right balance between protecting yourself and being in relationships without an iota of fear and the slightest paranoia can be hard. That's what we are talking about. Precisely. That's exactly that we're trying to strike here. Shout out to Naomi Asai. Welcome. Watching from Greece. I've never seen that name before, so welcome. Ekabo Sorieto, welcome. Shout out to you. That's for you and anyone that's brand new here. Romari, I'm seeing your name for the first time as well. Welcome. All right. The ego can be dangerous. Ego, pride with respect to romantic relationships, 100% destructive. You have to keep managing them. Okay, we all have them at some level. Obviously, you want to have a certain healthy level of confidence that can be translated to pride, depending on who you're dealing with, right? But just be aware that it's, you might be coming off as prideful. You might not realize it. It's usually not a situation where you're obviously the arrogant one in the room, in every room you get to. No, if it was that easy, everyone would be getting this right? Yeah. T-Love. D-Love say, Omo, it sounds like bondage. No way out. I'm asking, what do you think so far about that? T-Love says, no way out. No be escape room be that. But jokes apart, anybody been to an escape room here before? Escape room are kind of weird. I thought for me, that's why I was leading with divorce as an option, because I never want to feel like I'm in some kind of bondage, right? In fact, that was one of the languages that I used. Like, I don't want to be in a bondage, But those things, though I don't want to be in a bondage or divorce as an option, became one of the resentments that my wife nursed for 8 years. So thank goodness. So 15 years in now. But for 8 straight years, because she was, resentment is stuff that people bury inside too. But it came all up one day, and the product of it is this conversation. Okay. All right. So, if they are healthy individuals, that's good. If they are healthy individuals all around, that's a good way to look at it, right? D says, very true, Mr. Allah. Greece is in Europe. Naomi, Greece the Europe. Is that true? I'm just kidding. Welcome. Yeah. So the key word, one of the most scarier things that the modern men and modern women are scared of is depends. That's going to be a lot of your answers. Depends. Why? Because you need to listen a little bit closer. You need active listening to the specifics of the person you're dealing with. In fact, that is an overall rule. It's a rule. You know, when people say, everyone is different. No, this one is not different for everyone. Active listening is a must for everyone. It's not different for everyone. It's the same thing that me, you, everyone has to do. You have to learn how to actively listen to your partner. Why? Because you're trying to serve them. You're trying to bring value to them. That is a universal principle. Stop saying there's no principles. There are principles. Number one, active listening. After active listening, application. There's nothing in this life that's worthwhile that doesn't have principles. Let's stop saying that to ourselves, because what some people do, maybe not you, what some people do when they hear is that everyone is different, they just throw their hands in the air and they say, well, everyone is different. Let me just go for the exit sign, right? This is why I think they're coming from. What they're trying to say is, let's engage solution first, right? If we're healthy, somebody said that accurately earlier, if we're healthy, and it's not like some life or death issues, right? Like somebody is feeling their life is threatening, either mentally or physically. Yes, mentally too, right? Then let's not subscribe to this run for the hills first thing. See, for you might have understood it clearly with context. Like, yeah, I don't mean that, but your partner may not be internalizing it like that. Your partner may be internalizing as, this one is not committed though. This one is not committed to me the same way I'm committed, because they can't comprehend the idea. Remember, it flipped for us, right? Earlier on, I was the one who knew, but 8 years in, I was now the one who is feeling triggered when somebody said, marriage, no be do or die. I think negative talking points in general, you have to be aware. You're a human being. You're a spirit. If you're not a spirit, the other person is a spirit for sure. The way they are internalizing or processing what you're saying is not always, let me tell you like this, it's most likely not the way you intended. You need to be aware of that. Let's keep listening. Isabel says, no window, no door. For a minute, I couldn't breathe. I know, right? But let's keep listening to where they're coming from. I think I understand them. Well, I think there's also a downside, right? I think it's, I don't know. I just think it's a day-to-day thing, right? People say to me, so does that mean you know everything, guarantee you're going to last forever? I'm not thinking beyond today. I just want to make sure that I'm serving my partner today, and that I feel safe and secure around my partner today. That's it. And then if God blesses us with another day, we wake up tomorrow, we'll do the same thing over again, right? But no window, no door. It depends on who you're saying that to. You say that to certain types of people, they will find those windows and door and they will leave. And that's one of the problems I think is going on in church. They're demonizing divorce and they're attracting what they fear the most. If you're actively demonizing divorce, yes, most human beings will in weird, twisted ways, they will attract what they fear the most. That same window and the doors you're hiding from people is what they're going to look for, because the reality is that there are doors and there are windows. They will find it. So I understand them, but it's a big old but. Let's keep going.
Divorce is not an option. Whatever happens, we stay here and we fight till death.
Whatever happens.
And we agreed.
Hey.
That means times you wanted to carry your bag and go.
Oh yeah, you don't look for my trouble now. You're a good girl. You're a nice girl. People always ask for a secret of marriage. This is the secret of our marriage. Right here.
That's okay.
Right here.
Everybody knows I have bad character, so you cannot say that.
You don't.
All right. So, like I always told you, your friendship, spending more time on building your friendship, spending more time on figuring out how to have 5 to 6 times KEREWA per week is your best friend. Finding more time to talk about positive things, laugh, giggle, banters. Those are the things you need to be focused on. Words are powerful. Spend less time focusing on negative stuff. Whatever you focus on expands. Okay? That's just the reality. Whatever you focus on expands, negative or positive. You decide you want to spend your time focusing on divorce, it will expand. In weird, twisted ways, you attract what you fear the most. Alright? That doesn't mean that if you ever find yourself in a situation that's just detrimental, that's just not healthy for you or your partner, that you don't know how, you will find the windows anyway. So if you're going to find the windows and the doors anyway, why should you now focus on negatives? Why? Because of educational reasons? You might want to get off that pedestal. You're a human being like the rest of us. Okay? You have limited time, you have limited energy. Spend as much as possible of it on positive reaffirmation, manifestation, laughing, smiling, buying tickets to comedy shows, right? Make it a good sport. This thing we take it too deep. It's all too serious. Everyone is too serious. Those are the issues here. I don't care what they said. What they said matters because the people are following them, and that's why we're reacting to it, right? They're influential, right? But ultimately, I'm more attracted to how they're laughing, how they're friends, right? How they seem to be on the same page. What was the secret we talked about yesterday? The secret to happy marriages is unity. It doesn't matter what you subscribe to as long as both of you subscribe to it. Because if you subscribe to the most perfect ideology in the world and there's division, the other person's like, screw you. A house divided against itself. It doesn't matter how perfect what you read in the textbook is. If you're not on the same page, listen, we talked about KEREWA how many times, right? We talked about that earlier. We're still going to talk about that, by the way. Right? It doesn't really matter as long as both of you are on the same page with however many times you want to do it. See, for me, after 3 months, the marriage doesn't exist. Okay? But for some people, they might, let's say for some weird reasons, I know it's kind of strange, right? For some weird reason, they're okay with doing it once a year as long as they're on the same page, truthfully. As in, like, it's not somebody holding resentment and the other person think they're on the same page, right? Truthfully, they're on the same page, it will work because there's unity. We overthink, right? So is that, now everything I said is easier said than done. Unity is easier said than done. So it's a moving target. A typical woman might say, I want this today, tomorrow she might feel differently tomorrow. Are you listening actively? Do you understand that unity is a moving target? Do you understand that everything in life has a pattern? Eventually you'll figure out some kind of pattern. Some people will now call you couple goals because they don't realize that work has gone in. Somebody has really demonstrated what it means to be committed because they were tested. There were moments where they could have seen the red exit sign. I think it's green in Canada, right? What is the color in UK, right? And they run for the hills, right? If that's what you're looking for, you will find it. If you're looking for windows and doors, you will find it. If you're saying it's not necessarily that I'm in a bondage, but this is going to be beautiful 10, 20 years from now when we're on that side where it seems like second nature, we figured this out. Just like you understand the building, you've been to that building how many times, and somebody said, you know where that exit sign is? You're like, no, there's so many exit signs, I don't know where they are. But if you're always afraid in that building, you do know where the exit signs are. And before they turn on the drill, you'll be running for the hills. Because that's where your mindset is, right? So a lot of people are regurgitating talking points that's going to hurt their future relationships. Not because they're wrong. I think they're right. But I just think we're
You're right.
Think emotions no be our mates, that's all. And you're always dealing with another person. Right? There's another human being involved. Your intentions are overrated. Particularly your good intentions are overrated. Ola, you're saying it doesn't matter to have good intention. I said your good intention is good for you only. If the other person doesn't see it that way, poto. Right? Remember, we're talking about romantic relationships, right? We're not talking about your boss and employee relationship. No, we're not talking about the car salesman and you negotiating about a car. No. Those are tangible stuff. Romantic relationships, no be your mate. Okay? Everything I share with you here is an art more than it's an exact science. Okay? I was joking. All this is good advice. I don't know what we're talking about. I appreciate this discussion. Thank you for reiterating the health is important, just as we take medicine to cure ailments. Whatever happens, that should be clearly defined. Uncle, I know they waste time. Me too, at least 3 to 4 times minimum. Really? Hey, wahala. But me, good to see you, by the way. Let's see. Let me.
It's outside. It's outside. So,
Oh my God.
so that helped us. We don't
Yes.
consider it.
It's not even an option. Like, there's no way out. So we'll just stay and fix it.
Yeah. I think that helps because sometimes when you give that option, and you start, some people constantly threaten their spouses with it. I'll divorce you, I'll leave you, and before you know it, it becomes, their
It's the threat.
existence, and one day it will manifest.
So for us, divorce is not an option. We understand covenant. We understand that we're in this for life.
Yeah.
And the only way out is death. We understand that since we're in it, we might as well make it worth it. So that kind of guides how we enjoy being with each other. We enjoy each other. We enjoy hanging out. Pascal is my best friend, so we talk all the time.
See?
We just about everything. We gossip, everything bad. I do it with this man. And every bad thing I know, it's one I taught me.
Wow, that's not true at all.
But because we know that we're not going anywhere, we decided to make it worth it. So we do a lot of hanging out, spending time together, and talking. We're always talking, always talking.
The war in Ukraine forced my family to flee.
All right, shout out to Pastor K and for the content. Good stuff. I appreciate it. But I want to move on to the next story here, and I'll be right back. All right. Do you agree with the statement on the screen? Married women cheat more than married men. Una agree? Everybody agree with this, right? Correct? Yes? Everybody agree with this, right? Abi, me wakati musoni.
Different from blue, bulaba. He shock you.
Everybody agree with this, right? Huh? Come on now. Kilo day. Everybody don't enter gender war already. Jesus. It's just a simple statement. Let me see. Gomez says, let's see. D says, I guess the fact that they are also public couple goals, they must have the added incentive to stick together for their brand. Gomez says, I see, that was Z by the way. Gomez says, I see a friendship and communication between those two. They have a positive look on their relationship and are on the same page. That's all. It's that simple. If you're actively looking for that in your relationship, you'll be fine. Okay, everything is a moving target. People change, people evolve. They like something yesterday, they don't like it anymore. They have new expectations. Give them the freedom to express it. It doesn't mean you have to fulfill them. All they need sometimes is to be able to express it. For the most part, all they need is to be able to express it. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with fulfilling it too. Okay, lies, not true. D-Love, you don't agree with this? Wait, D said I do not agree. T-Love said no. Amari said no. I know, but Patrick agrees with this. Modele says human beings cheat. No. We're talking about the numbers now. Numbers. Well, Patrick, you agree with me, Abby? Let me drop the link just in case he wants to come up, right? But Patrick, you do agree with me, of course, right? Welcome, brother Patrick. Good to see you. Married women cheat more than married men. Who is saying no to this now? Shekwe, I should stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Okay. Okay, all right. Depends on the culture. The woman comes from in Nigeria. Nobody me talks. Are you saying Nigerian women? This is true. Isabel is asking a question, right? But let's see what DEYEMI is still talking. DEYEMI has something to say about this. Let me play it. How about that? Let's see.
A manhood generation where people started stepping out, men and women. Right, it's been happening for.
Let's go back a little bit.
This has always been happening. It's not. This is not the generation where people started stepping out, men and women. Right, it's been happening for decades. Okay, so
I would say it's been happening since the beginning of mankind. Like, Ola, are you trying to say Adam and Eve? Somebody cheated? Yes, I did. I just said that. Yes. Okay.
The only difference is, hardly would you ever find a man who fesses up to the fact that his partner. Meanwhile, if a man steps out, the whole community is going to find out about it.
What she said.
Right. So
do you feel like men are forgiving of cheating if it's quiet? Like if it's just me and you, no way, no the matter.
So somebody said, who conducted the research? Let's do the research together here right now. Okay, who did the research? Let's talk about that right now. Let's do the research ourselves, right? If most men that are cheated on will never admit to this in public, right? And we know that most women that are cheated on, they have no problem saying he's a cheater. Yes, he's a cheater. For many reasons, right? For many reasons. Because society kind of makes it okay when a man cheats, so women kind of come with this, unfortunately, terrible expectations that all men cheat. We talked about the stats yesterday. It's not true. Only 20% of men are inclined to that type of behavior. But in this topic now, if we know only 20% of men are inclined to such behavior, and we know that when men are cheated on, they will, because of ego reasons, they don't. If they forgive their wife, the only time you might hear about it is if they're really, really bitter about it and they're loud on the internet. But if he forgives his wife, even if he doesn't forgive his wife and they move on, it's a very hard thing for a man to admit to because of ego. He doesn't want to look less than a man because it's like, what kind of man are you? What were you looking at? That's the question that a lot of people would ask him. What were you looking at when your wife cheated on you, right? Everything is his fault, right? Right? Or he made her do it, right? So let's reassess this again. Let me ask the question again. It's a statement. Do you agree with the statement? Married women cheat more than married men. We just tend to not know about it. Do you agree now? If you had that number of people that would never admit to it publicly, men, right? And most women are talking about their situation, right? Is it safe yet to say that or no? I just want to know what your thoughts are, right? Just want to know what your thoughts are. They say, okay, men carry the World Cup for this one then. They do? Wait, I be women know they cheat at all, ne? Do women don't cheat at all? Is that what you all are saying? Because everybody's quiet suddenly. Oh. Everybody is quiet now. Why is everybody quiet? But this is divorce is not not option. Is for matured and well-groomed couple. That's a very, very fantastic point, Brother Patrick. That is a fantastic point. You know, but more importantly, I just don't think it should be a talking point that anyone should be gravitating to too fast. It could be an indication that you're moving with fear as opposed to faith. Just maybe. But by default, in reality, it is an option. But as far as you're quick to say it, I will be guided. But Patrick say no. Where's the statistics? But Patrick, so you're not on our side on this one. On our side, though. You're not on our side, eh? Oh, girl. Gomez says, I heard that Yoruba women. Huh? You heard that Yoruba women has a higher propensity to cheat, followed by Hausa women. There's little to none for Igbo women. No be me do the research, you just.
Oh my days,
D-Love, you're just going to look at that and let it pass, right? I would never accept that. Again, no, because there's no number. It's vague assumptions too. Okay, all right, I can take that. Still don't agree. People cheat. It's just hard to pinpoint. I thought so too. Assumptions. True. Princess said true. Princess is agreeing with me. No, which one is true? Women cheat, but now men carry the cup true. Women cheat a lot. She says. And then all your coffee break is over here. You got jokes, right? You got jokes, right? Women cheat, sure, but the percentage is insignificant. I don't agree, yo. So the propensity to cheat is culturally relative. I'm just as confused as you are, D. Yoruba women care. You're looking for trouble. Yes, she is. Women cheat as much as men. Because of what we just said today. No, we know the stats. You know, but the only conclusion I can make from this, Princess say Igbo and Ghanaian married women cheat more. Hey. There is God. There is God, though. It's God. But anyway, let me my conclusion from this. Here's my conclusion from this. But before I make my conclusion, let me see if DEYEMI finished his thought.
Men are such deep wells, I think. Are such deep wells. Not
Men are such deep wells. Any brain badge.
It could break you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But that process is like you trying to just dam up a river. Right? And you just want to hold it in.
Just protect it, put it together. He's talking about men that have been cheated on. Not all of them, but a lot of them, right? If they decide they want to keep it together, right?
I guess ego has a lot to do with it.
Ego has a lot to do with it, yes.
It can be quite damaging for men and women, but
it's quite damaging still, yes. It's not no beings to go through that kind of experience, man or woman.
I think men are,
I think society makes it more accepting.
And she's flipping it to the other side.
Step out, so the women.
And she flipped it to the other side. Ha! Obìnrin. Let me see. I have my brother here. Brother Patrick, how are you, sir? How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, well, I'm good.
Shawapa.
Uh,
That's good. It's good to see you, sir. Happy Friday. Happy weekend.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been listening?
Yeah, I've been listening. I was driving. I went shopping.
Oh, okay. Abby.
I just got to. So I said, when you said married women cheat more than married men.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has been established in the Bible. Father was caught in the act of adultery. What did Jesus say? So whoever has not committed such to cast a stone, and everybody dropped their stone and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
No one. Yes. It's been existent. You know, married women tend to hide their own, even if they want to cheat. The fact that they are married.
Right. So they hide it.
Yeah, we know that some that are loose. Yes.
Yeah.
I know some that had the fear of God. You know, at the end of the day, they repent and quit it. It's allowed. You know, we've seen that in church itself. But men, because of that ego, yes, I can marry 2 wives. You know, I have everything. Yes, I can. You know, in Nigeria, let me tell you, about almost 30 years ago, I used to do training for executive training. That time we call it computer appreciation. When computer just came in, we teach them, you know. And some of them will say, I'm a CEO. You have to come to my office. And you know, the money was there then. So I have to go. Some will schedule evening. Ola. A lot of them were KEREWA their staff.
Chai.
All these big men that will know, like, what? You know, I will just bump in at the scheduled time.
Jesus.
And all these people have forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'll not be baby now. You know, office lock, you know, the girl come out, you know, and everything.
Work wife, work husband.
Yes, some guy will just tell me, say, Patrick, I better come tomorrow, take this 5,000.
Hey!
He shock you. Not be my own wahala, me and the husband now.
Oh God. Abby, no be your own Abby. Princess said it will be interesting for y'all to know that lots of married women cheat with other women. Not even with men. She's saying with women.
Well, that has been so too. So
hey,
happening. The world is changing. You know, a lot of things is evolving, and you know things are hidden before.
Yes,
it's now becoming known. Yeah, you know, the world is Sorosoke, like like people will say in Nigeria, we're in Sorosoke now. People are not hiding their identity. You know.
Yeah.
So a lot is going on. So it's now left for you to make that decision. Which team you belong to. Yes. Let me emphatically say that, you know, I have 99.9 opportunity to cheat. I have it in the office anywhere, but you know, I'm just drawing myself back.
Right.
I'm not moving forward in life. I start doing that. What do I need? You know, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to be my phone now.
You use one moment to destroy everything you have been cooking for decades.
Yeah, so the thing now, you want to talk or black, you know. But you know, now that one I'm going to follow for America now. So you just have to make that your decision and say, no, I'm beyond this, you know. You know what I mean? So
what conclusion would you make from this, knowing that most men that get cheated on because of ego, they don't want to admit to that in public. Yes. So they're not making noise about it. Even when they decide to go their separate ways, many of them stay together, they keep it together, right? But when a woman is cheated on, because there's not much shame to it, outside of embarrassment, women do feel embarrassed when that happens. She can come out and say, yeah, my husband too is a scum, right? That there's no shame to that, right? But there's a certain type of shame to a man saying that about his wife. What would be your conclusion to this statement?
More married men cheat than women. Let me just. It might not be that much. The gap might not be much, but men, from my experience, let me give you one quick example. One of my pastor friends celebrated, was 50 then in Nigeria. We went to his house. Yes, went to his house with my brother-in-law. Luckily, somebody that my brother-in-law has dated was there with the senior sister. I said, oh, what is going on? They just met. So, few days later, I now went to my pastor office. And the pastor was married. I saw the guy in what? He has a small bed in his office, like, you can't even do that if you call yourself a pastor.
Small bed. That's how like my high school principal or high school. Hey, Jesus.
So I was like, I just said, that was the last.
Wow.
Now myself I trust, so forget about title. I was like, oh my God. The guy could not even believe that would come that moment. So I was there, the secretary saw me, I saw him, so there was no way they could say it's not available. I saw his car. Like, what? So they just open up, you know what I mean? Like, what is this man doing? You have a wife? Oh my God. So man, see, it's you, like I said, I have 99.9 opportunity to cheat. Men cheat more than women. And most men are the ones that make the move. Yes.
Right. I think so too. My conclusion is that men probably still cheat more than women across the board. However, it's not as wide as a gap as we think.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yes. That's my conclusion. It's not as wide, like, it's just men. They always no. The gap is not that wide. And as a matter of fact, the other number that you might be shocked with is how many men actually forgive and keep their home together after finding out that there has been transgression on the part of the wife. And there's many stories out there. You could check out this couple, Kadeen and what's his name? Deval and Kadeen. They're popular. They just launched a book. Some of the ones that you admire, they've been through some crazy stuff, but they decide to keep it together. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Let me quickly say something about, what I said about divorce is not an option. I said it's for matured and well-grown couples. But, I came to realize that a lot of married people, they carry a lot of baggage from their home down to their marriage. And some of them, for ladies, for example, they are still living in their house. Yes, you have to. It's just like you leave your son or your daughter to go to college. You can't be there in his class. You just what you have been. He has been nurtured with. Yes, by God's grace, I've counseled one or two people that discovered that these people, come on. The Bible says, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Leave your parents. Make a covenant with your husband. This is what you want to do. This is your life. You have your own children. Don't be going back. Don't be going back and coming forward. Don't be getting advice from your sister or whatever to destroy your marriage.
Right.
A lot of people. One woman told me, she's 64 now. She said when she just got married because the father was a policeman. Very strict, but the father loved her, well pampered. He said when she got married to the husband, the way the husband was behaving, she packed her load and went back and said, no, this man is not treating me like my husband, like my father. He said to his sister that said, what is wrong with you? This is marriage. You better go back. He said it was the sister that saved her marriage. So a lot of women, they see, you know, like, what is wrong with you? Sit down with this man. If you are mature, you know, learn
Right.
order. Yeah. You know your weak points. You know, talk about it. Don't be going back. Don't compare with your parents.
Don't be comparing. Don't be comparing. Comparison is a terrible poison for relationships.
You know, let me give you one example. You know, one of my in-law, he's been in the States for more than 50 years.
Right.
Ola, when this guy want to get married to my sister, you know what? He went to my parents. He said, please, don't call me your in-law. I'm your son. I don't even know my dad. That was what this guy said.
Right.
And this guy was in the States as soon as he left high school. He came to the States. The mother is here. So as soon as he finished secondary school, college, the mother is into business. She even has a plane. So she was staying in the mother's house. Ola. The mother, you know what the mother does?
Tell me, sir.
When the wife came, when the wife came here, you know, the wife came, you know, they got married and the wife got pregnant. Then I'm talking about 40-something years ago. So the wife was pregnant, couldn't walk, you know. The mother-in-law called the guy, because the guy was very hardworking, and said, well, your wife doesn't want to work. She just want to take your money. That's your problem. The mother-in-law will call the wife and say, my wife, there's one latest dress outside now. You need to talk to your husband to buy it for you. That's what they are wearing now. You know what the husband will say? We just call the wife, honey, let's take a stroll. The mommy told you so, and say, yes, just forget it. If the woman told you what she saw, they stay with the woman, the mother-in-law, for more than almost 10 years. What she saw, it was what groomed her. And the love between her and the husband that make their marriage to step and they have my nephew is 43. You know what I'm saying? Their first one is 43 now. He said no for the fact. This my sister never told anybody, Ola. She was telling me this. She never told anybody, she never told my family. It was when I came to the state that she was saying that what I saw, it was God, the way she was groomed, and the husband. So what am I bringing now from some of we should be calling my parents and say some of them are still living in their home. Yes, don't be going back and forth. Sit down. This is made your home your children. Because your children they are looking up to you. You are their role model. Yes. You are their role model. The son now, it's
crazy.
The son is a director in a big company. Yes, the son is a director in a big company. The first son. They stuck together. Let me shock you. My sister told me something that I couldn't even believe.
Right.
He said one day they had an issue with the husband. I've said in the book before. He said the husband took in her and took her to the airport and said, you must go today. He said the only thing that saved that was there was no ticket.
Airport going back to where? To Nigeria?
Nigeria, there was no ticket. Listen, Allah, when I got here, you know what the husband told me? He said, I cannot live without this woman.
I know.
See what they've gone through.
Yes.
He said, I cannot live without this woman. Yes. So people go through stuff. It's part of life.
It's part of life. So the growing pain, everything, I can understand why people, especially with so much noise about the negative experience, some people didn't even go through it. But when they start to hear other people's story, I can understand why they feel like divorce must be an option. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, nice ones. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Anytime, you're welcome. Anytime, sir.
God bless you, sir.
All right, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's move on to the next story. Shout out to Brother Patrick for helping us helping us. Let's see. Let me see this one. I think we completed this, right?
Deal with the shame, but it's almost like people have to say. What I'm trying to say is that it's been passed down from generation.
Yeah, we already had that conversation. So what I want to do right now is that I have another one here, and shout out to Brother Patrick. Always a pleasure. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so let's there's another segment of this video that I want us to assess really quickly. Let's see. It's a question, okay? It's a question. Let me put the question up real quickly. You're gonna hear it in a second. Let's go.
Yes. Which seems to be more common? A man who's waiting to receive pleasure, or a woman who's lying there? Which seems to be more common? Which would you think is more common?
Did you get the question? Everybody got that question? Which seems to be more common? A man or woman waiting to receive? We're talking about KEREWA, okay? Let's start with KEREWA, but then if you want, you can expand it to everything else, right? Which seems to be more common? A man or woman? See Oyibo, see English, Jesus Christ. A man or woman waiting to receive pleasure. Which one seems to be more common? Let me play it again so you can hear clearly.
Which seems to
just change and growth, because I guess what I was trying to say was also the growth part.
Yes. Which seems to be more common? A man who's waiting to receive pleasure, or a woman who's lying there?
All right, let me come to the chat. Miss Colley say, yeah, what's your answer? What is your answer? Everybody, nobody should be going to sleep right now. I need to know what your thoughts are. Which seems to be more common? A man or a woman waiting to receive? Listen, you guys are very quick to say both people must be willing to come to the table and work together. It's just not nice when only one person is doing all the work, right? You're very quick to say that, right? Dele Oshikoya, shout out to you. Says, shout out. It's one of my brothers that listen quietly. True, women just want comfort, and there are lots of savage men in hustle mode out here. That's true, because the society kind of accepts that in weird ways, right? That can slide in and curate that experience as long as she's down and conquerable. All right now. Lady Sandra says, Man of Prestige, you look so much like my husband. I was telling him yesterday, and you're both from Ondo State. I suspect you people are distant cousins. Probably. Shout out to your husband. Tell him I said what's up. Right? Miss Colley, hey, welcome. You missed quite a bit, but it's okay. It's okay. Welcome. D says this one is hard. Is it that hard? The answer was obvious to me. A man is always sitting. Look at the question though. Which seems to be more common? Okay. A man or woman waiting to receive? Dilo says a man. This one, Thai rapper. Let me go and investigate first. Bumi knows now. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That hard. I think it depends on each couple. No, we don't allow depends. We don't allow depends as answer. Depends is a disqualified by on arrival answer. I want to know what you think. Okay, what you think is going to be a projection of your personal experiences, either what you've heard, but I want to know it. Okay. She said, okay. The man is more common. Man is more common. We're talking about Kerewa. Lying there waiting to receive. Let your imaginations run wild. But let's see what they're talking about, because it depends. I guess Miss Colley is right after the fact. Let's see what context they're talking about.
Which seems to be more common? Which would you think is more common?
The man that is waiting to receive pleasure.
Okay.
She even knows she's lying. She can even tell that she she could tell that she was capping big time now.
Stop the cap.
You see her face? She knew. Right?
Well, that's one, eh?
The man that is waiting to receive pleasure.
Okay, well, that's
one, eh?
One, eh?
The
second part, because there's absolutely no way that's true.
What do you mean there's no way that's true?
I think we have more women who just lie down and wait to be pleasured, right? And I think Nigerian men do a lot of work, especially with Nigerian women, because they have been told that, you know, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't do that, that makes you this, that makes you that, and they grow with those thoughts. Maybe sometimes when you get to your later years, like your mid-30s or so, then you begin to be more expressive.
So maybe that's what's happened. No, I was never the girl that would even just lay there, because I don't believe in faking an orgasm. I don't believe in it's just it's a complete waste of time. But I just feel like lately I find out that sometimes it's like, okay, you might arrive at your destination before I do. You know, it shouldn't be over it. Like sometimes I also feel like even in the act of like foreplay, they don't really extend foreplay. They just want it to be like ready to go. And it's like, your own conclusion. What do you think women want?
Ultimately, women want someone they can rely on.
I was about to say someone who may show up first.
Let's leave it at that. Today, I think let me see what you all are talking about. But I think it's mostly, especially if we're talking about Nigerian women, it's mostly women that will lie down there and expect to be pleased. Now, in other aspects of the marriage or relationship, all of that will end up in the water very quickly. Okay, I think women, especially in marriage, women do take on a lot. Okay, and I think not enough people acknowledge that. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's a mismatch in terms of Kerewa appetite and all this kind of stuff. I think that's one of the many reasons why there's stuff like that, you know. But I have this. Let's cover this last story. I'm working on the time thing. That's awesome. I feel like I should pat myself on the back. Let's work on this last story so we can go ahead and have a good weekend. Shall we? I'll be right back. All right, so let's end with answering this question properly. Okay, this question: how often should married couples have sex? That's how we started this session, right? 4 times. DEYEMI thinks 4 times is not too much. Antitoke says it's too much. Many of you ladies in the chat today have said that's too much, right? I'll let you pass, right, on that. I think, like I said earlier, it's a matter of unity. And unity is a moving target as long as you're listening actively to each other. As long as people are open to continue to listen actively to each other. When one person is weak, the other person is typically in a position where they can carry the relationship. That's what a healthy relationship look like. It's not 2 perfect people always coming to the table with 100 times all the time. No, that's cap. That doesn't exist, okay? Sometimes one person is just weak.
Stop the cap.
Okay? All right? And if it's usually that one person all the time, it can take a toll on the relationship, right? And the same is true when it comes to Kerewa. sex, and everything else. Okay, the same is true. But how often? There's an article here that I want us to review together. It's on USA Today, and I thought the article went into some in-depth, ways to really liar Muhammad. What did he say? He said you did leg walk, right? You did lie, haba. Let's see. But before we get into that, I always like to engage you all, make sure we're on the same page here. Romari, shout out to Romari, welcome. Thanks for participating. Seem is the obvious word, so I'll say that women usually wait to receive. Yes, seem is a key word in that. That's absolutely correct. Is the woman more? Yes, for some women, that like to take to charge. If you know what I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. You know, if a woman likes to take charge, that's a beautiful thing, even if it's once in a while, right? The effort is, especially if it's once in a while, the effort is obvious and recognizable, right? So if you're the one that tends to just sleep there, like, try once in a while, get some courage, make the first move, right? Make it spicy. You can just add a little spice just like that, right? In the Nigeria context, it's actually true. Listen. To be honest, I'm not that woman that just lies there. Miss Colley. I love that. She said faking an orgasm. She meant to say, as she was saying, has nothing to do with the question. Yes. It has nothing to do with that. That's why I was like, what are you talking about? So, you know what she said is one of the reasons women cheat with women. Ha!
Oh my days. As
we're not ready for that. Pillar Prime. Shout out to Pillar Prime. Says, Ola, I will not let you put that on women. Now, Nigerian men cause harm. If the woman dare make move, where them go say she be a shower na lie.
Stop the cap.
Pillar. On your first comment, I'm seeing you for the first time. By the way, shout out to you. That's big cap all day long. No, I will not let you keep running into that excuse. But shout out to you. Welcome. A coffee break. This is a very good point. I have to think about this very, very. To want to reach Jerusalem while women want to enjoy all the distractions on the road. Foreplay, this, that, touch that, tease that. Yeah, it's for a typical person or couple. This can be real. Let me just leave it at that. Hopefully, I'm on the same context where you are, right? Dilo say 3 times a week. 5 times a week. 5. Twice a day. So that's your answer, right? 3 times a week? 5 times a day? Let's see what you said today. Let's go through it. There are nuances to it, obviously, right? Nuances to it. Some bushmen are like that. A lot of Nigerian men are still bushmen. It's okay. It's allowed. Drink water, okay? Take a deep breath. They will be asking, it's not allowed though. Let me just say that real quick. It's not allowed though. They'll be asking you, where did you learn move? It's not allowed though. Don't do that. Don't be that Nigerian man though. I know that this is a very, very common complaint from Nigerian women. Don't be that guy. It's just terrible. It's lame. It's terrible. But let's get into this article, and I'm gonna read, and then we'll get through it together. It says, how much sex should couples have? Here's what experts say. So these are experts that says this. Let's see if it makes sense. I take with a pinch of salt when they say expert these days. But let's see if it makes sense. Let's see if it's lame or if it's game, right? No matter your relationship status, sex remains a complicated and often touchy subject. If today they demonetize this video temporarily, I will know it's because of the word sex. But we've been safe, so hopefully not. Although no one wants to admit it, people across all demographics are spending less time in the sack. Eesh. People across all demographics, right? Most people don't want to admit it. People will say, oh, it's the Nigerian women that do it more. It's the Igbo irony. It's the same thing across the board. Somebody came into a few people over the last week came into the chat and they will say things like, oh, these people's problems are different from ours. No, it's not. Okay, it was a Donovan Sharp video. I think one of the fellas saw the video and was like, no. There's a lot of Nigerian men in those guys' chats. They are relating with many aspects of what he's saying, and that's why they're still ending up in Poto collecting breakfast everywhere. Okay? So stop the cap with the, oh, it's different. We have a lot more in common than we like to admit.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Okay? For couples who live together, married couples, and older people in general, the decline in how much kerewa they have is even more staggering, right? For couples who live together, married couples, and older people in general, per a 2019 study of British adults and teens, Britico people. But how much sex should couples really be having? Research has shown that couples who have at least once a week are happier than their less bedded counterparts. Once a week. Okay? Now, somebody's going to use this and weaponize this against themselves. Don't do that. Don't weaponize this against yourself. Okay? But let's see, what do I mean by that? Let's keep going. A caveat: happiness levels don't rise with more time spent under the sheets. Hey, see, that's a key part of today's session. It's not about how many times. To a large extent, how many times can be an indication of, right? But there's a point you get to that it's not about how many times. It's about the experience when it happens. How many people are having too many quickies and they are feeling unfulfilled in those quickies? They can't, right? They just want to say,
your daddy.
Right? That's not what they want, right? But how many people are having 20 times a week, but it's a bunch of useless quickies? Right? We haven't talked about that today. Let's be honest. We haven't, right? It's about the experience, right? Now, you can't use that excuse and say it's about the experience. Let's do it only once a month.
Will you keep quiet?
All right, let's go back to the article, right? So happiness levels don't rise with more time spent under the sheets. Something to know. Still, that number doesn't quite apply for everyone, and ultimately, experts say how much sex a couple should be having depends on the couple itself. That's the word we're all afraid of. Depends. The answer is always going to be depends. How much sex should a couple have? Once a week is a common baseline. Experts say it's a common baseline. Okay? That statistics depends slightly on age. 40 and 50 years old tend to fall around that baseline. Okay? 40, 50 years plus. Yeah, around about once a week, while 20 to 30-year-olds tend to average around twice a week, right? Because they're still acting like rabbits, right? However, Dr. Peter Canaris, a clinical psychologist and sex therapist based in Smithtown, New York, warns that couples shouldn't rely on the average as a metric for their own sex lives. He's seen couples on every part of the sex spectrum, from those who have little to no sex to couples who have sex 12 to 14 times a week. Hey, Jesus. 12 to 14 times a week.
Jesus.
Anyway, let's keep going. What's actually more important than for couples to get caught up in some statistical norm to match themselves to that is to look at this from a perspective of satisfaction. Okay, look at it from a perspective of mutual satisfaction. If a couple is satisfied, then that's the goal. That's the goal. Remember, it's like everything else. Unity. As long as you understand that unity yesterday is not necessarily unity today. It's a moving target, especially in your younger years. Okay. Dr. Linda De Villers, sex therapist and an adjunct professor of psychology and education at Pepperdine, agrees there's a certain amount of motivation to feel normal. Everyone wants to be around the normal thing, what is typical, especially when they're going through crises. They want to use it to shame each other or want to use it to course correct. And they're looking for what is normal. Like I said, don't use these things against yourself. The best teacher in all of this is your partner. Not necessarily verbally. Don't go and be putting expectation on them that you don't communicate. Now you're creating extra resentments. It's about listening actively beyond the words they are saying, learning them, learning what people like, right? Within the jurisdiction of what you are willing to offer. Okay? There's a certain amount of motivation to feel normal. Okay, whatever that means. Whatever normal means. Does normal means once a week? Don't do that to yourself. Okay? Because if you starve the other person, na wala, okay? Or if the other person feels like once a week is too much, that's still na wahala. You need to figure something out. Okay? You should be sexual as often as both you and your partner feel good. What if one person doesn't feel good? Why would you want it? Right? If you can say it was satisfying and fulfilling, this is a key word, fulfilling. That's how often you should be doing the KEREWA. Should I be planning sex? Despite the prevailing idea that sex is spontaneous and fueled by sudden desire, I like it to be spontaneous. Listen, once you get to certain age gap, people have life things going and stuff like that. It's okay to have a certain time of the week where it seems pattern, but again, it's also okay to be spontaneous. The ideal is not to be on one end of the spectrum in any of the, in any of the layers, right? Figure something out. But it's not about, say, I like it to be spontaneous only. If you're doing the only thing, that's your problem. I like it to be scheduled only. If you're doing that, that's a problem. That can become a problem, I should say. Okay? You just need to be aware. Listen, whatever it is you decide to do, if you're all on the same page, and that's true, not the one where the person didn't want to tell you the truth, right? If you're all on the same page, then you're doing well. Okay? What if one person wants more than the other? That's one of the most common problems. Experiences in his line of work. It's a problem that afflicts even the most successful couples. Yes. When our intimate or sexual, partner has low desire, it can be a blow to self-esteem and the ego. This is very important, especially for the ladies to understand. But is it food? It's not the fact that it's a food. It tampers with people's self-esteem. If they have signed it, they've signed on the dotted lines and they want to engage in this commitment with you for a lifetime, and you're moving in ways that will make them feel unwanted. You can call it any name you want, your insecurity, you can call it all you want, but there's a problem in that your relationship. And it will bite you in the butt for as long as she pushes under the rug. It gets worse. Okay? So don't do that. It tampers with people's ego, self-esteem on both sides if they feel unwanted. Whatever it is that's making them feel unwanted. Okay? Worse, and obviously it leaves a gap for the enemy to come inside. This is the point where you have self-control. Why don't you just leave instead of cheating? You go collect. Leave instead of cheating. You think human being are your mate? They will do all the wrong things if it feels right. I keep telling you that. Okay? Does that mean you should be scared? No, I'm saying become a good sport. Engage in active ways of taking care of your partner. Just once in a while. You don't have to be like that, like robot every day. That once in a while, when it stands out, is highly appreciated. It's another deposit that you'll be eating off of for a long time. Let me leave this to go. Go find it. It's on USA Today. Go find the article. Let's not steal their. But I thought they made sense. It's not about how many times. It's not. Okay. It's not about how many times. Go matter. It doesn't really matter. It's about the experience. Was it a good experience? Does it make you want to come back in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours? Do you look forward to it? That's what it's about. If you look forward to it, the numbers of times kind of take care of itself. Right? If you have the experience and you're having it good, if both of you especially are always looking forward to it, like it's like, decorate stuff, put stuff together, turn on the music, it's an experience, right? Is it every time it will be experience? No. If you do every time experience, it gets watered down too. It gets boring too. A nice 5 minutes quickie sometimes is all you need to call it experience. Don't be so still. Don't be so rigid. Don't be predictable either. That kills attraction, right? So that's what we got today. Let's see. Ending in poro. That's how I pronounce it, right? Chinye. Poro. Once a week is too small. Not them. Not them. Oh. This your sound bites, eh? You love them, I love them too. Romari says rabbits. She loves rabbits. I wonder if you're married. I hope you keep it that way if you're not yet married. But there's many people that love being rabbits before they got married. When they finish getting married like this, it's like
Halfway.
Like, how do you want me to take care of kids? Take care of you, put food on the table, go to work 45 hours a week, and then come back. You start to hear all type of, right? Even though nobody sent them, right? But hey, it's about working it out. It's about understanding that it is food. In fact, it is food. If it's not food for you, there's a high chance, extremely good chance, that it is food for your partner. And if it is food for your partner, you have to make it food. Okay? You have to make it food, right? You have to keep it up. You have to keep it up, right? And if you find yourself in the poro, sometimes it's okay. It's happened to the best of us. It's not because you're strange or weird. It's about identifying that as an opportunity to spice things up. Okay? Right? It's about, that's because the further down in that hole you go, the further up you can go. Now that's an opportunity to shoot things up, right? Agboto fa saying agbara lo lo mu wa is all about your mindset. It's all about how you look at it. Make good sports, right? Switch things around, and every now and then switch things around a little bit. If you did too many quickies, hey, listen, say, hey babe, I'm not doing that quickie stuff. I need about 3 hours of your time. What do you need me to take care of? What do you need to be taken care of? No, not today. I don't have time today too either. All right, but tomorrow, ọjọ́ ní ayato, ìdájí ò ní ṣeko, right?
How far do we have this?
Okay, all right. Some of my pastors be listening in sometimes, so let me leave it alone. I'm an adult though, so I don't know what we're talking about here. So shout out to you all. I will be taking this weekend off. I need to relax, chill. We'll be back here on Monday. We'll be releasing tons of video throughout the weekend. So stay watching. All right. Shout out to you all. Miss Collins says, and that goes for men too. Everything I said here goes for both sides. If a woman is too demanding in bed for them to be understanding, at both sides. Everything on Men of Prestige goes for both sides. Both sides. It might look different in application sometimes, but it goes for both sides. No one should be taking advantage of the other side with anything I say. Even when I'm tired, I'm always available unless I'm pissed off. Not them. If they are pissed off, you need to pull out all the tools. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. This has been another awesome one. I'm 15 minutes over time today. I promise I will keeping to time. I want you to go spend some time with your family. Go spend time with your loved ones. Call some people that you haven't heard from in a while. Just holler. Send a text. Hey, what's going on? How have you been? Even the text message goes a long way. Do that this weekend. And make sure, if you can watch any video we're releasing, save them into your watch later. Okay? Watch them, share them, save them into your watch later. Okay? So, but we'll be back here on Monday on Finally as usual. We have some good stuff going on. Okay? The numbers are good. Shout out to all 28 of you watching us. The numbers are really looking good. So keep sharing. Thank you so much. Keep sharing. Okay? And I appreciate all of you now. Shout out to Miss Kole. Thank you so much. Chinye, my G. Thank you so much. Everybody, T-Love, everybody. If you participated today, thank you to you. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.